For 20 years, Miguel Santos parked John Wayne's car at Hollywood premieres. He watched the Duke walk red carpets, wave to crowds, play the hero. But in March 1976, Miguel saw something that changed everything he thought he knew about strength. This is what he witnessed. Miguel Santos arrived in Los Angeles in 1956. He was 23 years old. An immigrant from Guadalajara, Mexico. Spoke broken English, had $10 in his pocket. He got a job as a parking attendant at Grauman's Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. The job was simple. Opened car doors, park vehicles, smile, stay invisible. And for the next 20 years, Miguel stood at the edge of Hollywood's biggest nights. Premieres, award shows, galas. He opened doors for Clark Gable, for Cary Grant, for Elizabeth Taylor. But there was one man Miguel saw more than anyone else. John Wayne. From 1956 to 1976, Miguel opened John Wayne's car door dozens of times. And he started to notice things. Small things. Things nobody else saw. Wayne was 49 years old. He'd step out of the car like he was stepping onto a horse. Quick, confident. Didn't need the door. Didn't need anything. Miguel would open it. Wayne would nod, barely, and stride toward the cameras. Wayne was 50th, still strong, still steady. But Miguel noticed. He'd take a breath before getting out of the car. Just a small pause. Then he'd smile, and the Duke was back. Wayne was 63. Miguel opened the door, and Wayne didn't jump out anymore. He'd swing his legs out first, plant his feet, then stand. It took 3 seconds instead of 1, but once he was standing, he was John Wayne again, shoulders back, jaw set. The cameras never saw the pause. Only Miguel did. Wayne was 66. Miguel opened the door, and Wayne gripped the frame, held it for a moment, used it to pull himself up. His hand shook just slightly. Miguel pretended not to notice. That was the job. Stay invisible. Don't stare. But he noticed. He always noticed. March 15th, 1976. Premiere of The Shooters, John Wayne's last film. Miguel was working that night. He saw the black limousine pull up. He knew it was Wayne's car. He'd opened that door 100 times. He walked over, opened the door, and he saw John Wayne. But it wasn't the John Wayne he'd seen for 20 years. Wayne was pale, thin. His tuxedo hung loose on his frame. His eyes were tired, really tired. The kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. Wayne sat in the car for 10 seconds. Just sat there, staring at the door Miguel was holding open. Miguel didn't say anything. He just waited. Finally, Wayne moved. He swung his legs out, slowly, planted his feet on the pavement, and then he tried to stand. But his legs didn't hold. Not right away. He gripped the door frame with both hands. His knuckles went white, and for the first time in 20 years, Miguel did something he'd never done before. He offered his arm. Wayne looked at him. Really looked at him. For 20 years, Miguel had been invisible. A uniform, a function, not a person. But in that moment, John Wayne saw him. Wayne took his arm, and he said, "Thank you, friend. Today's a hard one." Miguel helped him stand. Wayne steadied himself, took a breath. And then Miguel said something he'd never said to a celebrity in 20 years. "You're here. That's what matters." Wayne smiled. A real smile. Not the Duke's smile. Just a man's smile. He squeezed Miguel's shoulder, and then he turned toward the red carpet. The cameras started flashing. The crowd started cheering, and Miguel watched as John Wayne transformed. The pain disappeared. The exhaustion disappeared. The Duke was back. But Miguel knew the truth. Every step Wayne took that night was an act of will. Every smile was a choice. And that was strength. After the premiere ended, Miguel stood alone in the empty parking lot. He thought about his own father. a farm worker in Guadalajara who worked in the fields until the day he died, 72 years old, still picking tomatoes because he didn't know how to stop. Miguel used to think his father was weak, that he should have retired, should have rested. But that night, Miguel understood. His father wasn't weak. He was strong. Strength isn't never falling. Strength is getting up when you can barely stand. Strength is showing up when every part of you wants to stay in the car. Miguel worked as a parking attendant for another 19 years. He retired in 1995. He never became famous, never walked the red carpet, never had his name in lights, but he learned something that night that changed his life. He kept a parking ticket from that night. March 10th, 1976. The Schudy's premiere. It's just a piece of paper, faded, worthless, but to Miguel, it's everything. June 11th, 1979. Miguel read in the newspaper that John Wayne had died. He went to the funeral, stood in the back, didn't speak to anyone. He didn't cry for the movie star. He cried for the man who said thank you when nobody else was watching. I parked John Wayne's car for 20 years, but I only knew him for 30 seconds. And those 30 seconds taught me more about strength than any movie ever could. Strength isn't never needing help. Strength is accepting help and still walking forward. This was a quiet witness. If this story moved you, share it with someone who understands that the most important truths are often held by the people nobody noticed. I'll see you in the next story.